Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I think it's Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, 11 o'clock. I said I was going to go live yesterday after the Zelensky Trump meeting, which I did a live thing as the Zelensky motorcade was coming in. And I wanted to just discuss that. I couldn't go live at the time when they came up, but I wanted to share this with you so that we can maybe have a discussion about some of the questions and comments that the folks asked Trump and Zelensky in this meeting. So let me share the screen so we can look at it together, and then we can talk about it a little bit. All right. Okay. Let me hit play.
It was beautiful, right? It was good. He walked in and we put on his music, right?
So we got Zelensky, his whole team on the left-hand side, and Trump's whole team. You can see Hegseth. You can see Rubio, the vice president, on the right. And of course, you got the whole gaggle of, you can see CNN folks, you can see all of them over there. Okay.
It was great. Great guy. He's coming
Let's see what bright freaking questions people ask.
December 5th to perform at the White House for some of the people. If the cabinet members are good, if they're doing a good job, we'll let them come along with some others, right? We're going to have a good time. December 5th.
If the cabinet members are good, we'll let them come. On December 5th. I don't know who is he talking about. Someone playing music. I don't know who that is. Anyways, all right, let's continue.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's an honor to be with a very strong leader, a man who has been through a lot, and a man who I've gotten to know very well, and we've gotten along really very well. And we had a big call yesterday, as you know, with President Putin, and we'll be talking about it. President Zelensky of Ukraine has endured a lot. I mean, he really has. He's endured a lot, and we've endured it with him. To be honest, it's been a long time, and I think
I gotta fast forward through Trump talking. God, I don't want to listen to him more. Jeez, he just rambles. But I mean, I respect the president. I really do. Being an ex-military officer, I respect him, and I think he's doing great things for the country. But he just is pontificates. It drives me crazy.
we're making great progress. So we're going to be talking about that today. We'll be talking about what took place yesterday with my phone call with President Putin. And I think that things are coming along pretty well. It began with Alaska, where I think certain guidelines were discussed, and we want to see if we can get this done. This was long ago into the Biden administration. I came here and we inherited this, and we'd like to see if we could finish it, end it. We want it ended. So many people have died in this war, and we're gonna get it ended. So I just want to thank you all very much. If you have a couple of questions, go ahead, please. In fact, before I do that, let me just ask the president to say a few words. Thank you, President.
Pleasure. Glad to meet you again, Mr. President. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Okay, I slowed it down to normal speed because Zelensky's going to say a couple words and there'll be some questions.
Again, my congratulations with your successful ceasefire in the Middle East.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you did it. And I think this is the momentum to finish Russia's war against Ukraine. I think that, yes, we understand that Putin is not ready. I think not ready, but I think that I'm confident that with your help, we can stop this war. And we really need it. We see that they don't have successful steps on the battlefield, and it's good. I think that their army is weak now, but a lot of losses. They have a lot of losses and in economy and people. And I think this is a very important moment. And I wanted to thank you, Mr. President, after our phone calls. Yesterday, I had a good opportunity to meet with a big American energy.
I want to thank you, Mr. President. After you slapped me down a few months ago, made me become humble and listen instead of thinking you have all the cards, because you don't have all the cards, Zelensky.
Companies, and they're ready to help us. Yes, after all these attacks on our infrastructure, Russian attacks, and etc. And I had also meetings. Thanks to your team, we had meetings with a good military companies. We spoke about air defense, and I want to share it after with details where we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Mr.
Very good. And I think it looks beautiful in his jacket.
Yeah?
It's beautiful. I hope people notice. It's actually very stylish. I like it.
What a jerk. I mean, he complained because he didn't have a jacket on last time. Now he's poking him.
President Trump,
I mean, hopefully they just take it as something simple, but I think it's funny.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Under the Biden administration, the White House was fearing of a possible escalation. They were not allowing the Ukrainians to strike into Russia, fearing of this escalation.
Yeah.
Would your administration allow Ukrainians to strike deep into Russia?
We're going to be talking about that. That's something we'll be talking about. You're right. It's an escalation, but we'll be talking about that.
Mr. President, will President Zelensky join you in Hungary to meet President Putin?
Because it's a leader that we like. We like Viktor Orban. He likes him. I like him. It's a country that's a safe country. Done a very good job. He's been a very good leader in the sense of running his country. He doesn't have a lot of the problems that other countries have. And so we've decided that we'll be going to.
Yeah, Trump really likes Turkey. Viktor Orban, I don't know. He's a shady character. I spent a lot of time in Turkey. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that country, but Trump's right. I mean, he's been able to corral all the Arab factions, and keep shit under control. But
be with Viktor Orban, and I think he'll be a very good host.
President Trump, right here.
It's in
President Trump.
Hungary, yeah.
Zelensky
We're doing Hungary, yeah.
With Putin, trilateral meeting, or is it just you and Putin?
To be determined, but I would say most likely it's going to be a double meeting. It'll be a double meeting, but we will have the president, Zelensky, in touch. There's a lot of bad blood with the two presidents, and I'm not speaking out of turn when I say it. It's a very difficult situation. You know, we just settled the war, and after thousands of years, I guess. People say anywhere from 500 to 3,000 years, and I was in rooms, as you saw, because you were with me. A lot of you were with me last week with leaders that didn't like each other, but they were able to get along. These two leaders do not like each other, and we want to make it comfortable for everybody. So one way or the other, we'll be involved in threes, but it may be separated.
President Trump. Mr. President. President Trump.
Doesn't agree to peace in
Was he what?
What if President
Where are you
Putin-
from?
From Ukraine. You actually had a
Okay,
conversation
good.
with me
Good,
in the
yeah.
week. What if President Putin doesn't agree to peace in Hungary? What do you do then? Do you have
Well, let's
steps
see what
planned for
happens. I
that?
mean, you know, what if? I think he will. I think that President Putin wants to.
to Trump's credit, he's taken a lot of questions from non-American journalists. This young lady's from the Ukraine, asking about Putin and Hungary because there's an issue going on there. So very interesting. I'm glad he's taken this tact. He's taken so far 3 questions from from foreign journalists or non-American journalists. I don't believe that either one of these two, where are they? This guy, her, I don't think she's an American journalist. I could be wrong. But all right, let's get back to it.
To end the war, or it wouldn't be.
There's a Ukrainian officer, probably the head of the Ministry of Defense or whatever.
Talking this way. I think he wants to end the war. I spoke to him yesterday for 2.5 hours. We went through a lot of details. He wants to get it ended. I think that President Zelensky wants to get it ended. Now we have to get it done.
President Trump. Kara Castro-Noble from Lindell TV. And although I love asking you questions, today my question is for President Zelensky
Sure.
of Ukraine.
Lindell TV. Never heard of it. Interesting.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Our President Zelensky, President Trump, just brokered a peace deal in the Middle East that all Americans, both sides of the aisle, are very proud of. But to meet that deal, both sides had to make concessions. Our president has stuck out his neck in many ways to make a peace deal for your war as well. What specific concessions are you willing to make to end this war with Russia? Will you give up joining NATO? Americans have foreign war fatigue, and our president, as he said, we need our tomahawks too.
Unbelievable. I mean, she put him right on the spot. I mean, he's not going to say anything. I'm interested what he's going to say. He ain't going to say anything. I mean, they're having these quiet backdoor conversations. He's not going to tell the whole world what concessions he's going to make.
To me.
Yes, you,
Okay.
President Zelensky.
Thank you
What
very much.
concessions will you
That's some question, right?
So many questions in one. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I think we need to sit and speak. The second point, we need ceasefire. Even now, you see in the Middle East, it's very difficult to hold ceasefire. Everywhere, in every war, it's very difficult. We want peace. Putin doesn't want. That's why we need pressure on it. We will speak with President today what we need. We understand what we need to push Putin to negotiation table. And as I said previously, so we are ready to speak in any kind of
Very politically astute answer. He's skating the line. And that's a good question by Lindell TV. I don't even know who that is, but whatever.
format, bilateral, trilateral, doesn't matter. Matter just peace. This is important. And we don't speak about NATO or NATO. For Ukrainians, it's very important. Of course, it's our decision, decisions of allies to decide where we are.
But are you willing to give
Yes,
up
but the
NATO?
most important thing for people in Ukraine, which are under each day's attacks, to have really strong security guarantees. NATO is the best, but weapon is very important. Allies on our side is very important. And between us, for us, bilateral security guarantees between me and President Trump is very important. I don't know, we didn't speak with details about it, but this is the most important document because United States is very strong.
Sir, President Trump, you are the middleman right now.
Of course, he called him Peter. I knew it. Peter Ducey, the man of the hour. All right, let's see what Peter asks.
To end this conflict, who is doing a better job negotiating, President Zelensky or President Putin?
I think they're both doing a great job in that sense. We have to get it done. We've got to take some of the hatred of each other. You know, they don't like each other. I say that in front of President Zelensky, but I say it in front of President Putin too. They have tremendous bad blood. It's really is what is holding up, I think, a settlement. I think we're going to get it done, and we have to make it long-lasting. As I said in the Middle East, everlasting, right? Everlasting. And the Middle East is a much more complicated situation. You know, we had 59 countries involved, and every one of them agreed. And it's, you know, it's sort of amazing. Most people didn't think that was doable. This is going to be something I really believe that's going to get done. I had a very good talk yesterday with President Putin. I think he wants to get it done.
Good question by Peter. And President Trump made a very politically correct answer. So very good.
President Zelensky, right behind you. When we were in Israel with President Trump earlier in the week, we heard a lot about the difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Joe Biden before him. What do you see as the biggest difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Biden?
President Trump has a big chance now to finish this war. President Biden now is not the president, so he doesn't have a chance to finish this war.
Zelensky doesn't get it. He's asking to compare and contrast, and he just...
And President Trump is really showed for the world that he can manage ceasefire in Middle East, and that's why I hope that he will do this, and we will also have such big success. For Ukraine, it's a big chance, and I hope that President Trump can manage it.
I would say the biggest difference is one is extremely competent and the other one is grossly incompetent.
Sir, a few weeks ago in New York, when you two met, you said that you think Ukraine could ultimately take back all the territory that it's lost so far. Do you still think that's the case, or do you think there'll have to be some sort of
You
swap
never
of
know. Look,
territories?
you know, war is very interesting. You never know, do you? You just never know. With war and peace, but you never know. Please.
Russia calls Tomahawk supply to Ukraine as an escalation, yet it continues using similar cruise missiles like Caliber and
Yeah.
even
Who are you with? Who are you with?
Ukraine.
Ukraine?
Yeah. But Russia continued even using the cruise missiles and also nuclear-capable ballistic missiles in Ukraine since 2022. So do you consider providing Ukraine with the Tomahawk or similar missiles as an opportunity to equalize the possibilities of Ukraine and Russia and push Moscow to the negotiation
Yeah.
table?
Sure. We're going to be talking about that. That's why
Tomahawk missiles. I mean, all the Ukrainian press, the government, they want them. They want to push Russia and, attack them deep into Russia.
we're here. Okay? Fair question. Exactly as he told you to say it. But we're going to be talking about it. Okay? Yeah, please.
What is your message to India and Hungary, who is still refusing?
You said India and Hungary?
Hungary.
That's an
India
interesting.
and Hungary
India and
refusing
Hungary.
to
It's
stop
an interesting
buying,
combination.
refuse to stop buying Russian oil.
Well, India is not going to be buying Russian oil anymore. And Hungary is sort of stuck because they have one pipeline that's been there for years and years and years, and they're inland. They don't have sea. They don't have sea. And I spoke with the very great leader of Hungary, and they are, it's very hard for them to get oil. I understand it. Hungary's in a very interesting position because they can't have ports. They're surrounded by land. So we'll see what happens there. But India will not be buying oil from Russia. And they've already de-escalated. And
On the wall.
more or less stopped. They're pulling back.
President Lincoln.
They bought about 38% of the oil,
Fireplace there.
and they
Right.
won't be doing it
Very cool.
anymore.
George.
Trump has been helping you in
Great
achieving
room.
peace in Ukraine.
Who has?
First Lady Melania Trump
Yeah.
has been helping in returning abducted Ukrainian children from Russian captivity. President Zelensky, do you appreciate those efforts? How do you assess them? And did you ask her to step in and to help you?
No, she wanted to do it. She just felt very strongly about the children, and she's done a really good job, I think, in bringing it to the fore. We have a lot of children involved. Now, it's some people say it's 20,000, and some people say it's 300. There's a big difference between that, so nobody really knows. But she felt very strongly about the children. She thinks about the children all the time.
President Trump, if you okay Tomahawks to Ukraine, what's going to happen if the United States is in a conflict and we need the Tomahawks? Do we have
Well,
enough?
that's the problem. We need Tomahawks, and we need a lot of other things that we've been sending over the last 4 years to Ukraine. We've been, we gave them a lot. Now we have a different situation. We send it to the European Union. They pay for it and all that, and they have plenty of money. But it's beyond the money. We need Tomahawks, and we need a lot of other weapons that we're sending to Ukraine. One of the reasons we want to get this war over is exactly that. It's not easy for us to give. You're talking about massive numbers of very powerful weapons. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about. Hopefully they won't need it. Hopefully we'll be able to get the war over with without thinking about Tomahawks. I think we're fairly close to that. Yeah, go ahead. President, yeah, please.
Just to understand. So for today, of course, we want to finish this war, but the war is another technological war. You don't use just Tomahawks. If you want to target a military goal, you need thousands of drones. It goes together with such missiles. Ukraine has such thousands of our production drones, but we don't have Tomahawks. That's why we need Tomahawks. But United States is a very strong production, and the United States has Tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles, but they can have our thousands of drones. That's why where we can work together, where we can strengthen American production.
And so just so that I understand, so you're suggesting kind of a trade. If President Trump okays Tomahawk missiles to help you launch...
Yes, it's
into
about
Russia,
military goals.
then
It's
you
only
would
about
let-
military goals.
Well, there's a lot of drone training going on with our military right now. I know that kind of firsthand. I can't say from where, but let's just say I have family and friends that are involved in this within the United States government. It's not secret, but it is particularly in our Special Operations Command. Drone warfare is going to be the next big push for the Department of War. No doubt.
Right, but then you would authorize some kind of an exchange where
Yes, of
the
course.
US gets
Yes, we have
Ukrainian-
proposition. Yeah,
And
we have big proposition with our drones.
President Trump, I don't mean to be brokering an arms deal here, but is that something that you'd be interested in, Ukrainian drones?
We are, yeah, we would. We have a lot of drones right now. We build our own drones, but we also buy drones from others, and they make a very good drone. I mean, drone warfare has really come to the fore over the last couple of years because of this war. I will say, there's nothing like the jets. You know, we knocked out a lot of drones in Israel. We were knocking them out for Israel, and we were doing it with extremely fast and powerful jets, following the drones and knocking the hell out of them. So, you know, we know a lot about the drones, and we know a lot about the great jets, the great ones. The ones, well, and the B-52s, which were totally they were stealth. They were undetected.
Okay, I think I've had enough. He's going to go back to when we invaded Iran with the B-52s and the B-2s bombers and all that good stuff. So anyways, thanks for joining. Have a great day.